Morning Geeks! Time to grab your coffee, time to grab your chair, sit down at the computer. It's time for Morning Geeks! Hey everybody, Jeffrey Powers here from Geekazine. Think Magazine, put in a geek because I'm going to talk really fast. I want to talk as fast as that one guy that talks really fast. It's what his job is. He talks really fast. But I can't talk as fast because I don't have the script there. I actually watched him talk, and he just they just gave him a script and he talked. But it's like this thing I'm going to talk about here. I was like, whoa, I couldn't do that. Anyway, first of all, happy Stardate 306.253.24. That's your Stardate for today. Happy International Translation Day. That's my made-up language that I just made up. Happy Blasphemy Day. That's blasphemous. Happy birthday to Barry Williams. Greg Brady. It's a Greg Brady day. I'm going to tell you that. Happy International Podcast Day for all you podcasters out there. September 30th every single year is International Podcast Day. I said that. It's not even on Wikipedia. We need to put it on Wikipedia. So if you have some clout on the Wikipedia page, please do so and put that on there for September 30th because it happens every year on September 30th. And go over, use the hashtag podcast day to say congratulations, blah, 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 and podcast day. And of course, hey, promote Morning Geeks. Morning Geeks. There we go. So it's been a very interesting week for me, and to begin with, we're going to start with the problems. I'm 30 minutes late because I have two computers that I basically run this show from. The first is the main computer, which does all the recording and all the streaming to Facebook Live, and I got that already. That's all good. The second computer runs the teleprompter, all the information, so I don't look like a fool more than I normally do. So Microsoft decided to put some updates on the computer without telling me. And this is the main reason why I turn off automatic updates, because I have no control over it. And I had another computer. I was in the middle of a gig where I needed that computer. And what did it do? It went through an update cycle. Luckily, it did it in a block of time where I didn't need the computer. But it took forever, and I thought, oh, what am I going to do? And it was literally last second. I got everything loaded, and I continued on. But it was a big pain, and I am not happy with how Microsoft has been pushing their updates as of late. Really not happy about that. So I'm a big proponent of Microsoft. I worked at Microsoft technically for a period of time. So I'm a fan of Microsoft. I'm not going to downgrade them by any means, but this update system is horrible. And I'm surprised that, you're not watching a show. All of a sudden, boom, it reboots the computer, the big screen that they have behind them because there's a Windows update there, because I've seen it happen. This is ridiculous. And I'm not happy. But anyway, I'm going to move on because we got a lot to talk about. First of all, this last week I was in Las Vegas. I was at a thing called NetApp, which is basically storage in the enterprise area. And we were doing some live streaming for them. We had a lot of fun. We did this awesome contest where we basically took storage terms, and then people would stand in front of a monitor, not looking at the monitor. The word would show up, and then the crowd would have to explain this without telling them the word, and then they could guess the word. But I made it a little bit more challenging because there were certain frames where they had to mime the word, and then there were certain words that they had to sing the word, and that was kind of fun. So we had a lot of fun with that. I got some great pictures there. First of all, before I get into that, go over to geekazine.com. This is where you can check out all the cool stuff over at Geekazine and go from there. So, and of course, we are a part of the Geek Scony Nation. You're a part of the Scony Geek Nation. And how do you do that? You got to go over to patreon.com /Geekazine. You don't have to go. You're Scony just by coming to the show because you're loving this show. You're going to Facebook. You're hitting the like button. You're hitting the comment button. You're going to YouTube. You're subscribing to the YouTube channel. It's all at Geekazine. So youtube.com Geekazine, twitter.com Geekazine, facebook.com Geekazine, Think Magazine, put in a geek. There you are. So, and that's the thing. But of course, be a part of the Geek Scony Nation, because as a part of the Geek Scony Nation, you can get some great stuff, and we've got some great contests coming up. We did some contests. We did. I haven't drawn a winner since I ran into some problems today. Didn't draw the winner for the HP Roar. We'll do that later today and notify the winner. Go from there. But we've got a great thing. It's coming right now, and I'll show you right now. It's a heavy book. Oh my God, this is the table book to have. If you've got the table, this thing's gonna test the structural. And look at what it says. It says, Deadpool. I am Deadpool. So, without a mouth. A merc without a mouth. There's no mouth. My mouth is gone. It's Deadpool. And it's really cool because it's Marvel, basically, the cover's by Riley Brown. It was written by Matthew K. Manning. And you knew that Deadpool was just going to be a one-off villain on X-Men, right? And people loved it so much that they decided to create this. And then they created this book. And this is a big book. And I'm going to tell you, we're going to review it a little bit more. So in the coming weeks, I'll talk about this book again. But awesome stuff. I haven't had a chance to read it yet because I just got it. So it goes to the introduction, from villain to anti-hero. Let's see what else. They got some great art in here. They got some great explanations. Not much writing, but and some of the other characters in the Marvel world that you are known to love and grow and live with and stuff like that. So it is basically a whole bunch of art by legendary Deadpool artist Riley Brown. Yeah, I'm reading from this, and I'm not doing the fast reading. So the deluxe book also comes with an exclusive print of Riley Brown cover art, and it arrives on shelves on October 25th. Now, I have a link in the show notes that you can get it. Of course, it supports the show, so please go over there and pre-order the book. That's great. And we've got links to anything that's available to purchase. You can get that down in the page there and go from there. So anyway, but if you're going to be if you're part of the Scony Geek Nation over on Patreon, you'll get a chance to win that book. And the contest will be coming soon. We're not yet, but in the next couple of weeks. Now, speaking of which, I'm going to really quickly talk about the schedule. Next week, we will have a show. 2 weeks from now, I'll be flying back from Anaheim, California for another event, so we won't have a show there. So next week, yes, a show. Week after that, we're going to take a couple weeks off, regroup, because I have some cool stuff that I want to show you guys. But basically, that's it for now. Let's move on. Like I said, I went to NetApp, and I got some cool photos, and I'm going to show you a couple of those photos right now. Yeah, that's me and the whale. I'm mounting a whale. Kind of weird. But then I also got to hang with Bill and Ted, my favorite dinosaurs in the whole wide world. You see, if you went on Instagram or Twitter, you saw some of these pictures. But I also chronicled some of the cool slot machines that you can see in Vegas, and Orange is the New Black, TMZ. I played the Big Bang Theory. Now, when I go to Vegas for shows like this, I basically put money in the slot machine, and I don't expect to win. And the reason why is because I find it a karmatic thing. If I don't win in Vegas, I'll win in regular life. Get my confidence up, everything going up, so I can move from there. And it worked because I got to hang with the Blue Man Group. Yeah, let me show you. Awesomeness with the Blue Man Group. They took the picture. Yes, it's Jeffrey Ross. If I had an afro, that's what I would look like. So pretty cool. Actually, this is over at the Luxor, which is where I stayed. They have this display. When you look at it, it's like, that's a weird display. But if you look closely, you'll see where the place to put your head is. And you go over there, and all of a sudden, it's a photo frame thing. And then you hit the button, and it says 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take the picture. You don't like it, you can take another picture and then have it emailed to yourself. And that's what happened to me. So thank you very much to the guys over at the Blue Man Group for putting this together. I appreciate it much because that was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. So, and then finally, new gear that I got. I can't show it to you because it's a little bit big, but we have one to give away and one to review, and that's the best part. So this will be a future giveaway. Friends over at Rosewill, and I do have to apologize to him because I thought I talked about this last week, but in all reality, I had so much to talk about that I forgot to put it in the list. But anyway, Rosewill has these awesome gaming speakers that I have them in my living room right now testing on the Xbox. So I'll bring them in here to test them with doing music and stuff like that because they're also meant for doing music mix down. And I'll run through some of the tests and then do a full review in the upcoming weeks. But that's Rosewill. You can get it. We have the link once again if you want to get those speakers over in the show notes. So go down there and do that there with that then and now. Said that right. So anyway, I think that's it for all the cool news. Let's get into the real news and go from there on this start date 306.253.24. Da-da-doom, ba-ba-boom, ba-ba-bing, ba-ba-bing. Let me just do this really quick. Thank you very much, computer, now that you're working. Rock on! Let's rock on with some of this. And we'll do here, and we'll go here. Breaking news! Oh, and I forgot to talk... Oh, I'm not ready yet, so let's talk... And, of course, we're going to talk about the feature. I want to show the feature. A bisexual Wonder Woman? That's crazy. Of course, we know that, Wonder Woman is... on Amazon. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in a minute. But let's get into the news. Breaking news, like I said, from the interwebs, as J.J. Abrams announced that he was going to meet with Valve next week to discuss not only a Portal movie, but also a Half-Life movie. That's all we know right now because he didn't want to have that overshadowed by the fact that Westworld is coming out this Sunday. Now, if you don't know what Westworld is, it was a movie back in the 70s about a Western town that was actually fabricated, and there's robots in there thinking that they're humans. And when you bring humans in with that mix, it's a fun mix. HBO's reviving the show. I cannot wait till this Sunday to see what happens with Westworld. Very geeky. So if that's not on your geek radar, put it on your geekdar and go from there. So tonight's the night we will have a black moon. Yes, it's true. It's like a blue moon, but it's black. Basically, it's a new moon. It's the second new moon of the month. So if you want to go out, you can stare at absolutely nothing. Hey, that's great. You might see a little ring around it. If you like, you put a little ring around it. That's how that works, and go from there. But it's happening tonight. Some of you might not be able to see it. You can find out time on there. NationalGeographic.com is where we pulled this from, so you can check that to find out where you can see your black moon and go from there. Our friends over at SCOTTeVEST have come out with a brand new geeky jacket just for you. The OTG, yeah, baby, you know me, is the nylon. It's basically a nylon quilted puffy jacket that has 15 internal pockets and places to put your headphone cords and other things. Lightweight jacket can even store an iPad, your phone with touch-sensitive pocket, and a place to even put things like your ID and your credit cards and stuff like that. I'm a big fan of SCOTTeVEST. I got a couple SCOTTeVESTs, including the Sev 8 and the Featherweight, which I'm going to be doing a review on in the upcoming weeks. Great. The Featherweight's great for if you're going out to football games because you got like 19 pockets to put stuff, including a pocket where you can put a bottle of water. That's awesome. Maybe a beer. You make the decision. So for you Pokemon geeks out there, the last Pokemon Master Book will be out in November. This is an adventure book for all young and old, but it's, it's for 8 to 12-year-olds. You can follow Lucas, Coral, Samuel on their quest to catch them all. Now, this makes me think of those old Choose Your Own Adventure books. And I used to love as a child. I read them all the time, and it was great. If it ever made you happy, turn to page 22. If it made you sad, turn to page 45. Hopefully it won't make you sad. Go to page 22. You'll love page 22. It's awesome. Going from there. Oh, yeah, and then, of course, I was going to show the book. Yeah, I'm going to show that picture there because everything's just going crazy. Crazy. Let's move on. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. want to keep the new director a secret. As you see, I didn't leak out anything. I've blocked everything that could have possibly given you some sort of idea here. I'm not spoiling anything, but Entertainment Weekly is speculating something on who this Jeffrey guy is. Now, just remember, you heard it from me. Jeffrey Powers. Just saying. Just saying. Hulu picks up Postal, a comic about a Wyoming town that has a murder. Only problem is they're all criminals themselves. The town has basically a zero tolerance policy, so murder is not what they want in their town. Now, I have to admit, I haven't read this comic, and but I could see this as a great suspense thriller. Yeah, I can say suspense thriller. Yes. We'll see what happens, what Hulu does with this. It's also something, I thought there was a TV show, or maybe like on one-off on CSI or NCIS or something like that, which basically did do something similar to that. But now we'll see what happens, what Hulu does with it. It could, Wayward Pines was kind of, it wasn't about criminals, but it does have a kind of a similar suspense theory feel to it. So, but once again, I don't know too much about this comic. I'll have to read up on it a little bit more and go from there. Finally, do you know what an Indiana Jones cartoon could have been made back in the 80s? Well, really, not really. But, if you think about it, it was a great franchise. There was always that possibility. But it should have been done. But now it's 2016, and somebody said, hey, let's give it a try. Let's see what this concept will do. This is a concept by Patrick Schoenmaker, and it's basically Indiana Jones in a cartoon form, and it looks great. You got to see the video. Simple as that. Go see the videos. But could you imagine how cool that would have been growing up in the 80s? Having to watch Indiana Jones, the cartoon. They probably would have ruined it by putting in some weird sidekick comic relief. And I'm not talking like Short Round. I'm talking like some robot or dog or something like that could talk. And it's like, that's basically what they did in 80s cartoons. I mean, think about it. I mean, Scooby-Doo, yeah, you had the talking dog. That was part of it. Fantastic Four got a robot. Let's see what else. There were many different robots. We had you had He-Man and Masters of the Universe had comic relief in Cringer. It's just the comic relief thing. It's nice, but sometimes it really detracts from what you need. And I don't care too much for it. But anyway, if you want to check that out, we got the link down there. Just check it out and go from there. Peculiar Children headline new to this week. Ransom Riggs' novel Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children hits theaters this weekend. The young adult book is if Harry Potter and X-Men were to have a movie child. Sorry, no Quidditch in here. Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered launch trailer arrives promoting the November 4th release. Activision releases the game on November 4th for the Xbox One, PlayStation, and the PC. Darth Maul makes an appearance on Star Wars Rebels this week. You can watch it on Disney XD this Saturday. Get your binge watch glasses on as Marvel's new show Luke Cage hits Netflix today. Lots of episodes, so wait for the end of this show and then go watch Luke Cage, unless you've already done that, and then don't tell anybody, no spoilers. Some fun releases this week to DVD. The Purge election year gives you the election you wish you could have had. Constantine hits the shelves as well. The exorcism-based show pulled from the pages of Hellboy is now canceled, but you can get all the episodes for your collection. Vikings Season 4 also comes out this Tuesday. Follow Ragnar's adventures to become a Norse legend. It's a great time to get into the History Channel original show. X-Men Apocalypse also hits shelves this week. Flashback to 1985 in this reboot franchise. If you didn't give it a chance in theaters, I highly recommend you do it for movie night. And for all you Sharknado fans, Sharknado the 4th comes out. See what happens with Tara Reid and if she'll lose her right arm this time. And that is new to this week. I do have to admit I didn't check because if you put in the comments, the right arm, I don't know which arm she lost in one of the Sharknadoes. Maybe it was her right one, but maybe she'll lose her left one this one time. So if I made that mistake, I apologize. Here, let me show you this book again, the Deadpool. Drawing the Merc Without a Mouth. You know you want it. You know you want it. Oof. You know you need it. Oof. Anyway, we're back in the show. Thank you very much for coming back to the show. You're geeking out with me, Geekazine, Jeffrey Powers, and Morning Geeks. So let's get back into the geekery because we want to be geekified. And I think I've pretty much used geek in different ways. So let's move on here. So, too much coffee. Margo Robbie will kick off SNL's 42nd season. I bet there'll be a Suicide Squad bit, but don't expect any jokes on how bad it did in the theaters. After all, Robbie did get her own movie from it. Now, keep in mind, she's also in the upcoming Winnie the Pooh, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, keep in mind she's also in the new Pooh movie that, then, of course, the cast has done a Winnie the Pooh skit before, so maybe they'll revive that and go from there. Although, I think 2 of the characters in Winnie the Pooh are gone, or SNL cast are gone, so, but we'll see what happens here and go from there. Sad news for all you Adventure Time fans, Season 9 will actually be the last. Well, the good thing about that is Season 9 won't happen until 2018. You can kind of get ready for this cancellation now. The Emmy and Peabody Award-winning show will have created about 142 episodes before it actually goes off the air. Check it out, folks. This is not a Commodore 64. It's a Commodore 64C. There is a difference. Anyway. The Commodore 64C has been running in an auto repair shop for over 25 years. This is in Poland, I believe. And so, as you can see, it's pretty dirty from all the grease and brake pad dust and the muffler dust and all that other good stuff. But it's basically been running the auto shop for 25 years. So. But like I said, as you can see, that keyboard is a little rough. I'm guessing they had it cleaned a few times throughout that 25 years. The grease and brake pad powder would have been vacuumed out. Unless that guy really doesn't have too much business. Because then that would make sense as to why he still has this computer system. But if it ain't broke, don't go fixing it. And you go from there. Speaking of broken and fixing and all that other good stuff. First it was phones. Now it's washing machines. Well, they're not really blowing up from batteries, but instead falling apart from the vibration of the wash. The first documented Samsung wash-splosion. Yes, I said it. It's called the wash-splosion. And it was a Georgia woman. She was in the other room. All of a sudden, she heard some loud banging and came to find the machine was falling apart like this. And so it's crazy. And I just think of how the washer maybe just wanted to be a transformer, just didn't work. It's like, oh, I'm not a transformer. Wash explosion. Anyway, let's move on from there. Let's talk about our main subject here. And the main subject is called a bisexual Wonder Woman? That's crazy. Maybe not. Let's talk about it. Did you know that Wonder Woman is bisexual? Do you really care? I personally, I don't. It's not like here. Let's bring it over here. It's not like we're gonna see some scene in the movie where she confronts a villain, and next thing you know, some cheesy disco music breaks. That's no, it's not gonna happen. Keep in mind now, she is an Amazon. Now, Amazon women, the theory of Amazon women is it's made up of all women. There's no men in the ecosystem there. So I would guess that there would be some women that would want some company and, develop love interests with other women. That's how it works. It was also noted that Harley Quinn and Catwoman were also bisexual. And so this is, at this point, this is the first superhero that has come out of the closet in this case, as you could say. But it's been all women. And that's silly. Now, it's suggested that the indication was basically made simply so they could develop the character, which kind of makes sense. I mean, you want to have all the aspects, what foods they like, what foods they don't like, what colors their favorite color is, what they did as a kid growing up, fill in all the little bits and pieces, because that shapes a person's whole demeanor when it comes to an older adult. We're still not gonna see Wonder Woman kiss Catwoman or take Quinn in the back corner before arresting. It's just not gonna happen. But I bet you the selective type video stores out there will definitely have something out there to satisfy that need. But you're not gonna watch the Wonder Woman movie, and you're not gonna see her do anything. There might be a love interest. It's possible. I hope that they don't do this whole love interest thing, but to make the movie more interesting in the back life, she's gonna probably have some sort of love interest, maybe even a confliction between a male love interest and a female love interest. Hopefully that won't exploit any of the Bechdel test type situations, and we won't lose fact or focus about the reason of the movie, and that is to build the DC universe. They do not need another flop right now. And so if by doing this and saying that she's bisexual helps the movie, brings the movie closer together, gives it some coherence, and turns into a great movie, because I really want this movie to be awesome, then I'm all for it. But if this is just a distraction, it bothers me. It's kind of like with Star Trek, when they decided that Sulu's character was to be gay, officially. And George Takei came out and said, I really would have liked the fact that if he was straight, And I think it might have been because of the fact that George Takei did portray the character during Star Trek as a straight character, and didn't want those, wanted to kind of go outside of his proverbial box. So by doing that, it kind of said, okay, yeah, it's stereotyping at this point. And I think that's where he had a problem with that. But anyway, I don't know. I'm not George Takei. I can sound like him. Oh my! But that's pretty much it. So I don't know what's going on in his thought processes at all. So once again, Wonder Woman, let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think that this new information is going to make a difference with anything dealing with the Wonder Woman movies or comic books from this point on? Let me know. Twitter me over at Geekazine. You can also find me over at geekazine@gmail.com. Oh yeah, we do this every single Friday morning live, usually at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, 5:30 a.m. Pacific. We're half hour late because of a Windows update. Sorry about that, but it couldn't be avoided. So I need more coffee, definitely, although you've probably seen me through this episode and going, no, yeah, I think you're pretty good on coffee. Yeah, I think you're pretty good on coffee. So, and it's still trying to do some updates on this computer. So I'm going to have to turn off a lot of updates with all my computers. And that's the biggest problem is I turn them off on one computer. I forget to turn them off on another computer. Next thing I know, I've got an update to deal with. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot for listening. Remember, hey, join the Scony Geek Nation by going over to patreon.com/geekazine so I can keep these shows coming to you, and I'd appreciate it much. Once again, we're going to be here next week. Next week there'll be a show. 2 weeks from now I'll be in Anaheim, or flying back from Anaheim, so there won't be any show. And then we'll go from there. So, but anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Thanks a lot for listening. If you're on iTunes, if you're on Google Play, on the audio feed. And we'll see you next time. You guys geek out and take care. And I hope your Friday goes well and your whole weekend goes well. Remember, Westworld on Sunday. I'm really excited about that. So take care.